Here's a chain of odd time signatures. Let's dive into how this works. Oh, and there's a hidden message in there. Can you tell what it is? And each example in this video was created with Project Sam's Lineage Percussion. Project Sam was kind enough to sponsor today's video in anticipation of their upcoming release Lineage Strings. Thank you so much to Project Sam for sponsoring this video, and do check out the Lineage series with the link in the description. My wife always jokes that I can't count higher than 4. And she's actually right, because as soon as things go higher than 4, I tend to divide things into 2s and 3s. And why 2s and 3s, you ask? In a 4/4 bar, every beat is divided into 2 eighth notes. We call this simple meter. While in a 6/8 bar, every beat is divided into 3 eighth notes. We call this compound meter. And these are the 2 basic divisions of a bar. The 2 has a certain rigid directness, while the 3 has a more flowing, elegant manner. How about odd time signatures though? Well, they do both. They are the result of when you start combining these 2s and 3s into a single bar. The 2 is short, direct and quick, pulling us into the next beat, while the 3 is long, feels like a break, pushing us off, sort of a breathing point. So with this idea of 2s and 3s in mind, let's start seeing how we can combine these. And for all of these examples, the 8th note is always the common denominator and the underlying pulse. This idea of 2s and 3s also works in 5/4s and 7/4s and 5/16s and 7/16s if you want to use those for some reason. However, they will then just be faster or slower. Let's first have a look at how we can construct a 5/8 bar. This is either a 2+3 or a 3+2. 2+3 feels like it starts quickly and then it takes a little breather. While 3+2 feels like you're being pulled and rushed into the next bar. We can even take the same exact notes, but change the accents and it will feel completely different. Now let's have a look at 7/8. Now there's one more combination. 2+2+3, 2+3+2, or 3+2+2. The difference of these is where you place the 3, so this little lift of the 3 will happen in a different place. The 2+2+3 starts real quick before it sort of grinds to a halt. While the 3+2+2 relentlessly moves into the next bar after the opening. The 2+3+2 here is an interesting one in comparison, because here the little break and lift of the 3 is in the middle of the bar, creating interesting new combinations. Once you understand the idea of the 2s and the 3s, you can start moving away from counting and start feeling the pulse of this bar. It's not about throwing a fancy prime number into your time signature and starting to count. It's about how you group these long and shorter beats that determine the feel of the bar. This 11/8 bar is a combination of 3, 3, 2 and 3, where the gradual flow of the 3s is briefly interrupted by a short 2 towards the end of the bar. A 9/8 can either be a regular compound meter, or you can rearrange the groupings differently and turn it into an odd time signature. At some point you stop counting and you can start to feel these alternations of 2s and 3s in groups of shorts and longs, tension and release, pull and push. And once you know this, you can start combining them into interesting combinations. Because chaining together different time signatures will ultimately be a case of shifting accents of shorts and longs, shifting alternations of 2s and 3s. Whether these are all irregular or maybe have regular time signatures in there as well, that's ultimately up to you. The underlying pulse will always stay the same, but you are alternating these accents between the 2s and the 3s, the short pulses and the long pulses. Compare it to a boss fight. The nastiest bosses always have these long attack chains, where they have quick attacks in succession, followed up with attacks with a longer wind-up, before stabbing you with that one quick attack that you always forget. I don't want to talk about it. Ooh. In the same way, we can start building longer chains of shifting accents. To create a few examples, I turn to something else that also uses alternations between longs and shorts, Morse code. If we take this alphabet and apply the 2s and 3s, shorts and longs formula to it, you can start spelling out words with alt time signatures. Here's my name, which is unfortunately a long chain of 3s. However, here's the name of today's sponsor. And this one means subscribe, which you should do right now. Oh, sorry. Right after you have this video. I think I don't have to explain that one. However, what was happening there towards the end? Let's wind back to our initial meters. In a 4/4, each beat is divided into 2/8 notes. In 6/8, each beat is divided into 3. But what if we somehow did it the other way around? Over the 2s in a 4/4, we can layer triplets, dividing this beat into 3. While over the 3s in a 6/8, we can layer duplets, dividing this beat into 2. Duplets of doublets. I don't know. Duplet. Dual, as we say in Dutch. So here we impose another subdivision over the one that we expect. So if we go back to our 5/8 bar, we could overlay the 2 with a triplet or overlay the 3 with a duplet. So looking back at our last example, here a 3 is imposed over a 2, creating a new rhythmic shift. This is the same principle I used in my video a couple of weeks ago, where my 11/8 bar was divided as 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3, but both of the first 3s had a duplet imposed on top of them. The funny thing is though, it will still keep the underlining short and long feel. Even though a 3 is now on top of a 2 or the other way around, the way that the pulse is set up in the bar will remain the same. And that's the beauty of alt time signatures. Once you understand that it's all about combining longer beats with shorter beats, they open up a whole world of possibilities and cool rhythms for you to explore. Once you stop focusing on the numbers and start listening to them as groups, they no longer feel so alt. Now with all of that behind us, let's go back to the very first example of this video. Don't count, just try to feel those long and short beats. Here's the time signature chain of this example, and here is the Morse code alphabet. There's a message hidden in this example that's written by alt type signatures themselves. When you have cracked what the message is, do leave a comment with what your alternative would be and why. And starting today, I have a community channel in my Discord asking you to write your own name using alt time signatures with the Morse code alphabet. Do join us with a link down in the description. Thanks a lot to Project Sam for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you in the next one.